Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing The Evil Within on Akumu difficulty mode. This is chapter 14 of 15. It is entitled Ulterior Motives. So, this is a fairly challenging, a stealth-heavy section of the game. We will fight the Quell as a boss. For now, though, you want to head over here and pick up everything, disarm the bomb, and we'll be facing several Ruvik imposters in this chapter. Now, I haven't mentioned this, but the Magnums is a one-hit instant kill on the Ruvik imposters. That is to say, if you have upgraded it, but I don't know. It could be a standard kill on just the base level of the Magnum. I'm talking about a body shot. It doesn't even have to be a headshot. So it's very powerful. So what we have to expect is an encounter in the bathroom. And there's tons of traps in the bathroom, plus an enemy. Now, when you're trying to go after the traps, defusing the traps, by the way, here's the first checkpoint. When you're defusing the traps, don't go out of your way to try to earn anything from them, because they're actually just explosive bolts that this guy is shooting here. So I'm going to try to get him to come out here. We're going to cause him to fall, then we're going to burn him up. Now, this usually takes about as long as Ruvik. He goes by hundreds of names, I imagine. He'll come up presently once we're all done with this room. So just shoot these. You can't use them as you can't just go up to them and collect them because they're hostile. So as you can see, you can disarm them, but they don't count as any spare parts. So I'm equipping the Magnum because I know Ruvik's coming. So he should come right over here, and my Magnum is only at level 2 of 5, so it's not upgraded very much. So that just goes to show you the power of the Magnum. Now, always make sure that you pick up the green gel that he yields, which is, I believe, 1,000. Yeah. So you get 1,000 for him, and you also get 1,000 for the invisible creatures. Now, when you come over here, you can smash these. Try your luck with that. I did get a spare part there, so I was happy. And then running down the escalator now, don't forget to get this trap here, equip your flashbolt, and the guy is somewhere near the wall, and I think he's going to stand up in a second. So there he is. He's going to stand up, disappear, but it doesn't matter where he is because the flashbolt will expose him. Now the only other enemy is somebody trapped to a wall down here. So just be very conservative with your Magnum ammo. Here he is. So I'm going to use a standard harpoon bolt, shoot him in the face, and when you come down here, you can go back and save it before you attempt to defuse this, because if you fail on that, you'll have to do every one of those battles over again. And then just watch out for this, and then grab these harpoons off the wall, and then we're going to go down to the main area. And this, I was expecting a lot more challenge. That's not to say it doesn't have challenge, but once you figure it out, it becomes very routine. So when you come down here, I have a really good way of handling this. The best thing to do is to use the freeze bolt on this Ruvik clone here, because what happens is, no matter where the other enemies are, they disregard his death. You see, we've got a couple of people trolling up there with the clown masks. It doesn't matter what you do. Now, you come down here, you burn these guys. The only caveat I'll say about that is that you want to be crouched when you fall down to the water, because if you're not, what can happen is that these guys can get up before you burn them, and then you will not get the burning prompt. So this is a very safe place to maneuver over here. This is the second of the 3 guys. He put the match on the wrong place, unfortunately. And then he put it in the same exact spot. You also want to do this. Do these traps here. I don't think you get anything from them. No, you get 0. But you don't want to have any stray bullets grazing those, because then you'll have everybody on alert. But to be honest, there's not very many people over here in the first place. So, you know me. I'm going to go over here and collect my trap parts. So collect these 2 things, and only one thing went awry for me over here, and this was the only time that it ever happened. But I can see that how it was my fault, you know. So you'll see that the patrolling haunted up here. He's going to see me because Sebastian does this. He'll mantle, he'll crouch, he'll stand, then he'll crouch. I don't know why they do it in that order, but this actually worked out for my benefit. So, jump down and knife him. Now, you're probably not going to have that happen to you, so what I would recommend that you do is take the trap out. See the corpse hanging to the left? Make sure you disarm that trap so he'll fall, and then what I usually did was to use a flashbolt and take care of both the sniper and the other. There's just 2 enemies in there, so that's what I would systematically do. So here's Ruben's green gel, and just take these traps out. What I would either do was, because it's pretty tough to stealth kill the guy that comes out of the door, so it is possible to do it, but again, you know, if all else fails, just use the flashbolt. And there's only 1 enemy left, several traps. When I was killing this final guy up ahead, I think it was last night, I've had to redo this because I accidentally deleted the source files, and it actually worked out for the best, as things do, because the more you repeat a chapter, the more you get really good at it and know where everything is, how to better manipulate things. But when I was killing this last guy, I thought to myself, are people viewing me as are they viewing my action of using the flashbolt as like a win button? Because sometimes it feels like it is a win button to do the flashbolts. So I was just wondering to myself, maybe if other people felt that way. But for God's sakes, you know, and I'm not trying to justify anything, I'm just saying it's a very economical bolt to fashion, and even if you don't have it upgraded all the way, it's a great tool to stun enemies. But anyway, I was feeling that note of self-consciousness while I was killing that guy. But drop down over here, and we're going to secure a checkpoint pretty soon. You'll get a checkpoint before the next encounter with an enemy. This is a pretty decent level. I like it. It's got enough variety and everything, and different enemies.
Gotta be a way to get up there somehow.
Now, on the Quell boss fight, here's how it is. I wasted a lot of explosive bolts to kill this guy. I killed him so quickly that he didn't even have time to go up into the shafts. And what he does, and I'll explain it a little bit further into the video, but he has he drips little parasites that like to just jump on you really quickly, and the best thing to do is shoot them with a shotgun. But since I killed him so quickly, I said to myself, you know, I earned this victory. It's probably not going to be the most helpful thing for people, but it's still something to follow, you know. because it's basically use shock bolts and keep using explosive bolts. If you don't have those, I don't know what to tell you. You're probably not playing the game correctly, and I'm not trying to chastise you or anything like that. But anyway, ignore that alter ego. I'm going to use my Magnum over here to get instant headshots on these guys. That guy does a nice little flip, and then there's just this guy here. Both of these guys will aggro. So drop down, disarm this trap, and then there's some nice items over here for us to collect and add to our inventory. So I had about 80 trap parts going into the Quell boss fight, and then afterwards I had about 45. So I use a lot of ammunition, but I'm always considering and saving things, and I'm not using things half-heartedly. I always have a plan in the back of my mind. Like the only other encounter that I know of that will be demanding on resources is the double keeper boss fight, and also the fight in chapter 15 with all the enemies and the sadist. So and we'll be collecting more stuff too. So anyway, this guy needs to be killed because a prostrate enemy like this, they're going to aggro. And these guys just happen to be alter egos, and they just don't let those guys. I missed an item over there to the left. Watch out for that. But that enemy is just too lucrative of an enemy to not have them aggro. So there's going to be a couple of points where you'll see some of these alter egos get swooped up by the Quell boss. Just a word of warning: don't shoot, because it's not required, and I'll tell you where it is. So you're going to see a pretty rapid transition. That's because I went to the save room, and then when I came out, these guys spawn. That's how they spawn, actually, right when you open the door and you come back. So just kite them as best as you can, and then crawl back into the vent. Now see this? Don't even worry about this. If you played the chapter before, you'll see how I was there. I didn't even care about it because I knew it was just part of the chapter scripting. So with another checkpoint secured, we have another pretty rough path. But the thing is, I make these unnecessarily rough for myself, not because I like to, just because I really want those trap parts, and I've been doing it the entire game. That's why I feel that I've earned the right to use as many as I need to, and as many as I want to for some of my strategies. So my harpoon bolt is at level 4. It's not very strong. I'm very curious to see how the fire attachment would work for that. So you don't need to worry when you burn the webbing here. You can't get killed. It's iframe city. So here we go, another one of these. There's going to be one more as well. So here's a large gel, 1,001 statue. And then we'll come back here, and there's a couple of bear traps that are just ridiculously unfair because you cannot see them. They're completely underwater, and I'll show you where they are. The first one is right over here, and I just don't think that this can be redeemed at all. I mean, how the hell are you supposed to... I don't think you can even see it at all. But if I were you, I would definitely take care of this guy here. I don't have much of a critical modifier on the harpoon bolts. If you can even do that, I think you can. But just make sure you kill that guy, because you don't want him intruding on the next bit of business up here. So you'll hang a right, smash some boxes. These boxes just aren't giving me anything anymore. I don't know if the game thinks you have a set amount of inventory, they stop giving you stuff. I'm not sure. So after you place the junction box fuse in there, we'll have some gel and some trap parts to pick up over here. And sometimes when I listen back to these recordings, I do get the sense that people might find them boring. In fact, somebody has criticized them for being, that I sound bored. But the thing is, I'm just being technical, you guys. I'm trying to help you guys win. I'm trying to help out the person that is really struggling on these sections, is in really bad need of a guide, and finds a great guide on the internet and can depend on it. So, that's why I'm not trying to be joking around all the time. I'm trying to be serious and technical. And, that's the end of the whole affair about that. So there's just one more bear trap here. It's just irredeemable. I mean, you can see that, but very camouflaged. Okay, here's another bit of scripting. When you approach this thing, the quell will drag him into the sewer pipe. But first of all, collect everything. Stand there. I don't like the quell as a boss. That's why I'm not bragging, but I can't stand him, so I annihilate him. I won't stand for a bunch of little shitty parasites just insta killing me because they jump so fast at you. Okay, so we can't smash those. We can collect those, and then we'll jump down here. And okay, so that's why they gave us matches, so we didn't have a game-breaking glitch on our hands. So this will open part way, and now we'll be in a part that it's my worst part of the level. It's my most detested part of the chapter. We have enemies here that we've seen before. They're called traumas. And at this point, all I'm looking for, all I really want are the shotgun shells. So when you put the fuse in, it's going to take off the electricity. And you do have iframes during that. You can't get killed. It's just a luck factor of running back in here. And of course, you can make it a lot easier for yourself by using the stun bolts, but I'm not going to do that until I get up here enough. And you could also just shoot a magnum into one of these guys and they'll get killed in one hit normally. But did you see how that second guy, and again, this is all luck, but I was thinking to myself, this is an area where too many resources here would be really wasteful. But if you're in a corner, sometimes you just you have to get out of that corner. So as long as you can get up here and get past this guy here, you're going to be able to get secured a checkpoint for yourself, and then we'll have a pseudo Dead Space 2 moment. Now I'm not sure if it's more desirable to shoot him in the head, but since this isn't Dead Space, I'm shooting him in the head. And if you don't know what that illusion means, it just means that in Dead Space, your headshots were invaluable. You needed to sever limbs and appendages. So before you go up that incline, make sure that you burn this webbing here, collect these items. And the reason that the quell went down so quickly is because of my barrage of attacks, and also because I have the damage multiplier up on my bolts all the way. Same with the shotgun. I won't. Yeah, look at this. This is kind of. It's a little sad, but I definitely need that. So now we'll have the opportunity to save our progress, and we're almost done with this chapter, surprisingly. But I can't tell you how imperative it is to have your loadout the way you need it. Because I will say this about the Quill fight. Once you die, even though you're in a loading screen, which I'll never understand, because why does it have to load in the first place? You're already here. And yet it still has to load you to the spot where they already know where you are. But just, even have whatever gun you want to start using on there first. Make sure you have it equipped. Even though in the cutscene he's going to use his handgun, but I don't think that alters anything. Just have your shock bolt equipped, so that every time you reload, because he comes at you really quickly. So the first thing we're going to do, you can use a freeze bolt or the shock bolt. They both stun and freeze him for the same amount of time, so it's inconsequential what you use, but a freeze bolt would be more costly to do. So you don't even have to shock him, because he'll get staggered so much by these explosive bolts that he doesn't have much of a defense. So as long as you can keep pegging him with these and keeping him in place, at this point he will use some toxic gas to try to escape and then camouflage himself into the environment. If that happens, that's good. Just watch out for when he does his little charge. He's got a little overhead attack that he does as well. But he does a lot more things than just this. I mean, I'm sorry I can't example any of this, but there's going to be a lot of videos on YouTube if you need help when he goes into the shafts. And I'm sorry, and I do feel guilty, and it is a bad reflection on the guide to have that kind of a fight in here. But all you have to do, though, when he's in the shafts on the ceiling, is go find where the drippage is happening and then go shoot him. Shoot him out. But the thing is, he constantly summons his little parasites, which require you to use your shotgun ammo and waste a lot of that. So it's either you waste a lot of shotgun ammo, which you can't craft, or you waste a lot of bolts, which you can. So once you pull the generator here, it's going to open a couple of doors. Let me see how many it opens. Yeah, it opens these 2 doors. So do not just foolhardily rush into the elevator shaft. Make sure you come over here first and collect the green gel and the statue. We're almost done collecting the statues. I must have missed one at some point because I did not get the achievement, and I have reinstituted the enabling of Steam notifications to pop up, but on my first playthrough I did not even see this room or the other room, and now I see them wide-eyed and just really gleeful because there's a ton of stuff here. But that's a strategy I would recommend. I mean, I do feel bad that people, they might have their quells go up into the upper rafters and realize I feel badly about that. But you can prevent him from even doing anything if you're on him as fiercely as I was. And if you don't have the resources, again, I can't sympathize with that, because this is a game where you have to be conservative about your equipment. So this is the last goddess statue right here. So if we can actually hit her, we'll be fine. There is one final encounter, which is something that we've already done before, and it's a really lame task about falling some enemies and then pulling the cords out of them. So just make your way down this train here. I thought it was going to say you will die, and then it said you will suffer. So that kind of unpredictability it really is refreshing for me to see that. Although, it was just a random guess. Okay, so we're going to land right back into the hospital. We're going to hear some exposition. This might be sped up, but I'm not entirely sure if I do speed it up. There are 2 items to get in here, both of which are gels. Yes, this is sped up footage. So it's gel. And I'm not sure why they make you do the sequence 2 times in the game. A sequence that's uninteresting and really bad, but the saving grace here is that you don't have to watch the cutscene every time, which makes a lame scene, which I hate, into one that it's still lame for me, but I don't hate it. And you see the distinction. Just don't make the player suffer through a bunch of cutscenes every time that are unskippable. It's not brain surgery, for God's sakes. But I will see you in the final chapter, guys. Thanks for watching.